came to make my claim. I'm a native son now, so proud of where I come from. My blood type screams.
Welcome back. Now we start the program in earnest, and we'll be looking at what has been happening in Ekiti since Governor Kayode Fayemi took over the helm of affairs in the state. It's my pleasure this morning to welcome Dr. Kayode Fayemi.
Hello, it's wonderful to be here. Welcome to Ekiti. Welcome, Kayode.
Thank you.
Good to have you here.
I might just have to change my name to Kayode in a few moments because I've got Kayode on my right and I've got another Kayode on my left.
It simply means a lot of joy will be brought to your way. That's what we do.
Now let's start with your experience in the seat of power.
Yeah.
I know that you had a lot of battles before you came because you were at the tribunal and you were in all the courts in the land. Absolutely. Trying to claim your mandate, and eventually you got it. Has it been
only just ended May 31st, 2013.
Has it been worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Any opportunity to serve the people is a worthy opportunity, because for me, public service is the highest form of duty that any citizen can render to society. So in spite of the difficulties on the journey to power, I have found it immensely worthy of the struggle we waged in order to get here. And in very many ways, the opportunity that being in the seat of power offers to fundamentally affect lives is something that you can't really get outside of being in public service. I've been an activist all my life. I still consider myself an activist. My politics is an extension of my activism. But there were so many things that I used to snipe about when I was an activist, that I used to complain about, that I couldn't really do much about except just snipe at the fringes. But I came into public office and I made a number of promises to the people, and by just one sentence, free education came to Ekiti State.
At all levels?
No, we don't have free education at the tertiary level.
Okay.
We have up to secondary school level. Mm-hmm. We have free health care for the vulnerable segments of our population. We have the first social security benefit scheme in the country for the elderly. And these were things that when I was in the campaign rostrum, people felt, oh, here they go again, politicians and their lies. How is it going to do social security for the elderly? Isn't that something that they do in those mature democracies and those foreign lands? Is it going to be possible here? And all of these things, I tell people these days, I say, look, take my inaugural speech on being sworn in as governor and go paragraph by paragraph what I promised. And 3 years, 3 months down the line, ask yourself, has he done this or hasn't he? How far has he gone with infrastructure that he said he was going to do? What has he been able to do about education, and what has been the improvement in public examination in the state? What has he succeeded in doing in healthcare? By no means have I done everything. But
I was just going to ask if you were able to deliver, or if you're delivering on all the promises that you made.
Oh, I am delivering on all the promises that I made. I have not delivered completely on all of them, but on each and every one of those promises, which is known as Roadmap to Ekiti Recovery, the 8-point agenda, popularly so-called here, you can take on each of those points at least 70-80% completed. And you can also know what our eyes are on the future. So has it been worth it? I've been able to affect lives. I've been able to deliver on our social democratic agenda as a political party that believes in pulling up the weak and the vulnerable in society. That, without a doubt, is what I have done in office.
Alera, permit me to ask the governor. We started conversation about the fact that Ekiti is renowned for so many professors and PhD holders, and education is virtually the bedrock of the society. And some of the things that's being said by people who are in opposition is the quality of education that Ekiti State has had over the years is such that the state has been reduced to the last bottom 5 in the ladder in the state. But I checked the figures and it seems like some things have changed. Enlighten us about the status of things, the true picture of quality of education and where Ekiti State is on the ladder in the country.
Let's deal with facts, Kayode, not opinion. Opinion is free, as you journalists tell us, but facts are sacred. Ekiti today has had one of the most meteoric rise in terms of performance in public examination. When I became governor in 2010, Ekiti had a 20% pass rate in public examination. 20% of those who sat for WASC examination had 5 credits, including English and Maths. In 2013, the latest examination that we can showcase, that had moved from 20% to 70%, and it was not accidental. My own school, known as the best school, not just here in Ekiti, but one of the best in the West, Christ School at Ekiti, moved from 9% in 2012, pass rate 9% to 99%.
Okay, what did you do? What's the magic?
What did I do? I did a couple of things. When I came in, I had a task force on education chaired by the late Professor Samaluko. And that task force decided that a number of things had to change in order for us to improve the quality of education. One is the education infrastructure in the state. Many of the schools in the state had not been touched since Chief Obafemi Awolowo built those schools in the 50s. They were totally run down and dilapidated. So the environment, the learning environment, is very critical to the success in examination. So we totally changed every single school. We didn't build mega schools. We really don't need mega schools in Ekiti. But every community had a school in Ekiti before I came into office. And we renovated, refurbished, put new furniture in all of those schools. All the schools, not one, not two, the entire schools in the state. 183 secondary schools, 856 primary schools. But we didn't stop at that. We also decided to merge our junior and senior secondary schools because there were problems before. You had schools that had junior girls, junior boys, senior girls, senior boys, and there was so much confusion as to who the lead principal was and how to organize.
Oh, you're saying there was a principal for junior secondary school?
A principal for junior secondary, a principal for senior secondary, and if they are girls and boys, that means we have 4 principals.
In one school?
In one school.
Yeah, confusion, yes.
So you can understand, you can understand, too many cooks.
Yeah.
So we decided to do away with that without necessarily changing the curriculum of the school so that we can streamline the hierarchy and supervision in those schools. And that helped us. In order to do that, we incurred some flack from teachers because we had to do examination for the principals and the vice principals, because here were we with about 400 principals that had to be reduced to 183, 184 principals, and that required some shift. Tough decision. We didn't stop there.
But how did that work? Because
it was controversial. I'm sure you heard the brouhaha over teachers' examination, needs assessment, and all that in Ekiti at the time. Yes, there were confrontations, but we made it transparent, we made it open, and no one lost his or her job. Yes, they may not be called principal again, but they still remained in the system. The grade level did not change. It was a problem of status, and we had to manage that.
But that controversy, a lot of people said it was a way of streamlining the authority of individuals for one reason or the other. Yes, I know it was politicized.
It was politicized, but you know, if you're going to be a leader, leadership is not a popularity contest. You have to make up your mind what is in the overall best interest of the population, not just a special interest, but the general interest of the people. The same teachers, I believe, have seen the positive results of what we did. The quality of teaching was also one of the things that we had to address. We also had to address what used to happen here, which we found unacceptable: automatic promotion. Whether you were good or not, you were pushed to the next class. We stopped that, and we also introduced a compulsory examination in SS2. So in order for you to be presented for the WASC examination, you had to pass the compulsory examination. And it turned out that, yes, the number of those presented reduced, but virtually all of them passed.
No, so what happened to those who didn't do well in the SS2 exam?
They repeat.
Okay.
We said there's no automatic promotion again. You repeat.
Okay.
But we also do not allow miracle centers again in the state. So if you do not pass your school start, we set up remedial colleges in the 16 local governments. You go and retake your exam in that remedial college.
What are miracle centers?
Exactly.
Please?
I was going to
Miracle centers are special centers that are used for passing examinations. You use special candidates to go and sit, impersonate, basically.
Who set those up? Excellent.
Oh, it's all over the country, because there has not been rigor in the supervision of these schools. So you have all manner of private schools that
They're actually miracle centers.
They're basically miracle
So
centers.
you go there and you're sure to get
You're sure to
A grades.
You don't have to go. You can
You don't have to go. Somebody will go for
mercenary.
you. You can hire somebody to go take the exam for you, and the person would
Use your
take the
name
exam,
and bring
and
the
you get the
certificate.
results. So all of that disappeared.
Any plans to use biometrics to confirm who's actually this person, and if this person is who they say they are, before they can come in and do their exams?
Well, that would have to be a matter for the West African Examination Council. I would like to think that they ought to consider that as part of their processes for examination. But what we have managed to do here is to restore sanity into the system.
Okay.
So that you don't have that. And we didn't stop there. We also went a notch above that to the tertiary level. Another unpopular decision in the eyes of some people was the merger of all the 3 universities I met in the state, because I felt this is a state reputed for its academic renown. What is the point of having 3 glorified secondary schools and you call them universities? And 3 years down the line, for the first time in the 30-year history of Ekiti State University, all its courses were accredited by the National Universities Commission. So that's why I said, let's stick to facts. If you stick to facts, you will see the significant improvement
Now,
that has taken place in education.
apart from infrastructure, what has happened regarding the quality of learning? Because most of the time, people fail exams